For those of you that's been following this build series, you know that we've got the Speed Engineering long tube inch and 7/8 headers. We also use their X pipe for the OBS. By the way, there's still some undone things in it. You're working on nitrous, etc. So I appreciate you pointing them out, but I know we're not finished. Anyway, as per usual with Speed Engineering stuff, it fits pretty ill and it's not level. It's going to cause some problems. Shouldn't be shocked if you pay Chinese prices and you're expecting things to fit perfectly, because it's just not. I mean, let's be realistic. For a few $100s, you can buy inch and 7/8 long tube stainless headers. Not in this America. I was down at Summit a couple of weeks ago, Black Friday, so we were able to take advantage of these Flowmaster FlowFX mufflers. They were under 50 bucks a piece, and they are stainless. Not sure what grade of stainless, but I'm sure there's some form of stainless nonetheless. This was Amazon from Evil Energy, not a... Also, these are stainless mounts from Amazon. Pretty inexpensive. Here's some stainless straps that have the little step down to go into the slip fit for these. So also I bought these pipes from Summit while I was down there. These two lengths, stainless. Ish. So I'm going to slide those lengths into the back of the X pipe, use those clamps for it. Then I'm going to weld these mufflers onto the ends of these 3-inch straight sections. Then I'm going to cut this U-bend to where it's going to make a couple of turn downs that will slide into the end of the mufflers for the dumps just in front of the axle. By the way, I feel like these are just knockoff mufflers of the pretty expensive MagnaFlow. They're straight flow through. You can get them like offset top to bottom, but these are the flow through kind. Pretty wide open. You can see they're perforated and have like fiberglass packing in there. And they work pretty well, as far as I'm concerned. I did get stainless steel wire 030, and it is solid core, so you want to check your welder and make sure what your polarity needs to be. Mine does not need to be changed because I always run solid wire, but I normally run this stuff right here. Today we're welding semi-stainless, so we're going to be using stainless wire. Also, they call for this tri-mix of helium, argon, and CO2, but I'm just going to run my argon and CO2 mixture that's already in this tank for what little welding I'm going to do. I'm going to send it, see what happens. By the way, we're kind of calling this stainless exhaust welding for beginners because I'm the beginner. My welder has auto set, so I can just set it to the thickness of the wire. But if I want to, I can adjust the speed and temperature separately. It just seems to do a pretty good job on whatever it wants to do. And I'm running it on 110. This is not a professional video, clearly. But you know what? To save $400 or $500, worth a shot. I may use this one on the inside so you can't see it as easy, but it's welded. Yeah, maybe one little spot here. Yeah, we don't need no TIG welder. We're professionals. I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm not upset about this at all. You can see some of my stops and starts because you can't just weld it all out at once. That looks a little thick, but I mean, not terrible. Okay, that's welded in. Sorry if the lighting's no good. Here's our mock-up and kind of what we were going for. Having the length of those to where the back of these are perfect with this cross members. Actually, this is where the factory was bolted to. Anyway, I've got those mounts I can bolt through here and weld onto the back end of those mufflers. The visibility, I don't know, we'll see when it has those 20-inch wheels, these 20-inch wheels on there, how well that shows. As you can see, it's right on that cross member. I've got a little spacer under one because of that ill-fitting Speed Engineering exhaust Y pipe. I'm gonna have to make adjustments around it. May even have to relieve a little bit, like indent some of the bottom of that one tube, just so it's not hitting that cross member. I kind of hate to do that, but dual 3 inches is way plenty exhaust, so we're not gonna be restricting anything. Main thing is we want to make sure they line up nice and square and straight. Here's our finished product from underneath. There's those clamps that step down at the joint from their Speed Engineering X pipe. I did relieve them some. Here's a video of that. You can see there's still lots of flow left, but it allowed me to clear this without having to worry about contact. And yeah, the mufflers are in there. They're pretty well parallel to each other. Look really good. I was able to make a couple of good points of contact on welding these support straps. They're tightened up. This is all going to get cleaned up when I start on the suspension, which is going to be in the next video or two. So I'll get sanded down and all be painted. So I'll make sure and paint these whenever I do that, because these things always look terrible rusty in just no time at all. And yeah, underneath you can see there's weld on the bottom of those little hoops. So hopefully we won't ever have any issues with the exhaust stuff breaking loose there. There's something about doing projects like that and accomplishing them yourself instead of saving up your money and paying someone else to do it. By the way, this table, I mean, I feel like this video has been a sponsor for it. It's a Harbor Freight thing. It came with all the hold downs and all that stuff. Borrowed it from my buddy Doug. I know there's better welders. I know that could look better, but I did it, and that's kind of cool, you know, and it's hard to be a good welder and this tall. Cue the open X-pipe clip for when we first test fired this thing. Now we'll try it here. You know, before I bought those mufflers, I read a couple of reviews from people who had street cars, and they were like, they're just way too loud and that kind of thing. But You know, they remind me of the MagnaFlows that we had on that first square body. They're plenty quiet at idle and probably at normal cruising RPM. But if you think about it, with that straight through design, I mean, how much sound can it really remove from it? I'm happy with them at this point, the whole 9 seconds worth of listening to them. But everything changes when you get a bed on there and you're running down the highway. Hey, thanks for watching this far. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. This has been a fun build, and I hope you've enjoyed it too.